Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services.
Good morning, Speaker. Thank you very much for recognizing me to speak on this very important issue, Bill 106, Protecting Condominium Owners Act. Speaker, a couple of points before I get into why this issue is important for me from my perspective as the Member of Provincial Parliament of the Great Riding of Ottawa Centre. But what I wanted to say, first of all, Speaker, that this issue is a very good example of how this legislature should work, and that is that all members come together with their ideas, bring them forward, followed by extensive consultation to listen to Ontarians, and then government takes action in bringing a legislation forward that is comprehensive in nature. So I do want to recognize all members, especially the former member from Trinity-Spadina, for the work he did when he was in this House, Speaker, given that, of course, because he had a lot of condominiums in his community, same as my community, and I had many conversations with him and some of the challenges that I was hearing. And again, I think speaks, Speaker, to the collaborative nature of the work we do in this House, where we learn from each other, we bring unique perspectives from our respective communities, and then advocate on behalf of our constituents that results in bills like Bill 106, which is a good thing. Speaker, I have the great honor of representing of Ottawa Centre, which is a downtown community, and I think all of you have had the chance to visit my community. And if you look at my community of Ottawa Centre, and if you look at the Attorney General's community of Ottawa Vanier, you will see this incredible growth that is taking place in terms of building of new condominiums. As we're going through the electoral boundaries change, my riding boundaries are not changing. If anything, is shrinking by 2 streets. But the population of my riding continues to grow, because what we're seeing in my riding is the building of vertical neighborhoods, condo towers that are being built in various neighborhoods that are 20, 25, 30, or up to 40 floors high. If you are in Ottawa Centre and you're visiting by Dow's Lake, you will see those skyscrapers. You will see the cranes and the construction that is happening. If you're in Westboro, you will see construction taking place around the convent property. Most recently, in Old Ottawa East, Speaker, we have this new development called Greystone Village, which is taking place on the Oblates land that was owned by the Oblates brothers for over 100 years, and now is being sold by the brothers and is being developed in consultation with the community. So it's interesting where you see the actual physical boundary of my riding remaining the same. We're seeing incredible growth of number of people who will be living in condominiums and are choosing that lifestyle of not owning a house and having obligations around shoveling snow and bringing garbage to the curbside, but choosing a different lifestyle, and they're actually investing quite a bit of money in doing so. So we're very proud of that development. We're very proud of welcoming new members in our community through these condo development. But with it also comes certain responsibilities and issues that are being dealt through this particular bill, Bill 106. Just to give you a sense of the sense of condominium market in Ottawa, 2014, Speaker, was a record year for condo completions in Ottawa, with about 2,412 units coming onto the market. And I would argue that bulk of those units were either in my riding of Ottawa Centre or were in the riding of Ottawa Vanier, which is represented by the Attorney General. So far in 2015, Speaker, there are 2,037 units under construction. The average sale price for a condominium class property increased by 1.3% this past quarter in Ottawa to $257,303, making it an affordable option for young professionals and seniors to live. And condo sales in Ottawa, Speaker, accounts for about 23% of housing sales in our city. So it's a lifestyle that is being both availed by young professionals and seniors, what we call empty nesters. I was very happy to see, Speaker, that the government took very extensive consultation on this process. In fact, I was pleased to host in 2012 consultation in my riding along with then Minister of Consumer Services Margaret Best. We held the consultation at the Taggart Family YMCA, YWCA. It was very well attended. Over 100 people were there, raising different issues they've had. And the issue that really stuck to my mind, one of the issues that came up was education around condo living. What it entails in terms of rights and responsibilities of condominium owners who live in condos, and education for board members who take on that responsibility as a volunteer to look after the affairs of that particular community, of a condominium owner, and then any disputes that arise as a result of it because you're making collective decisions. Those were I would characterize as some of the key issues that came out in that consultation. And I'm really happy to see, Speaker, that this bill 106 actually tackles all those important issues. It has a huge emphasis on protecting the consumer because it is a very large purchase that individuals are making, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you're a young professional, you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and you are buying a condominium. We need to make sure that there are certain elements of protection towards you there. So things like requiring developers to give condo buyers a copy of an easy-to-read guide on condominium living on time of sale, providing clear more comprehensive rules to prevent buyers from being surprised by unexpected costs after purchasing a newly built condo. These are the kind of things, Speaker, are very important because it will result in an educated condo owners. But what I want to focus my time, Speaker, on is on dispute resolution. One of the biggest challenges that I've heard in my riding in Ottawa Centre is the cost around dispute resolution. If there is a challenge between the condo board and some of the residents, and we had some really high-profile cases in my riding, we're talking about years of litigation in the courts and hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees that people have encountered. And that's just money coming out of the condo fund, the reserve fund, the money that has been collected so that it could be invested back in that condo in terms of upgrades and repairs. That does not serve anything well. So one of the key features is that I really support, and I've heard from my constituents that they are very happy to see that it came out of part of that consultation, is having a separate dispute resolution mechanism through the establishment of a condominium authority. That is a very positive move because what it does, it creates a specialized body which will be able to resolve disputes that may take place within a condominium. It takes the pressure away from our court system. It helps resolve condo issues in a low-cost manner, and it really puts a focus on not having an adversarial litigious process, but a process that is more driven through alternative dispute resolution mechanisms like mediation. That is a very positive step which I think will save a lot of money and time and will ensure that condo disputes are being resolved in a timely manner. Speaker, the Condo Authority will provide affordable access to quicker, accessible, and lower cost dispute resolution of disputes, primarily between corporations and owners. It will provide for self-help tools, case management, and mediation to prevent easy-to-solve disputes from being tied up in costly and time-consuming legal proceedings. It will also ensure education and awareness, as I was mentioning earlier, for condo owners about their rights and responsibilities and the basics of condo living and how it differs from freehold ownership. It will also provide education for condominium directors, which is very important, a registry of all condominium corporations in Ontario, including their boards of directors and contact information, and a guide for condominium buyers setting out unit owners' roles and responsibilities. I think, Speaker, all these steps are positive steps. They're steps in the right direction because I think it really acknowledges a unique lifestyle around condominium living. Also acknowledges that this is in many ridings like mine in Ottawa Centre, this is a very acceptable way of living as opposed to freehold living, and we need to have special rules in place to accommodate for that. I also want to quickly thank the Canadian Condominiums Institute Speaker and the Association of Condominium Managers of Ontario, ACMO, for their advocacy. They've been very helpful to me in educating me on a lot of these issues. I want to thank them because a lot of positive things are reflected that we learn from our stakeholders, from our condominium owners, our constituents, and of course through the consultations. Thank you, Speaker.